Hey guys, Chad here from the Sucker Mom Off-Road channel, and I have a great video for you guys today. We are going to the Grand Canyon. That's right, the Grand Canyon. I know, impressed. But I wanted to set this video up. I was headed out to New Mexico from my home in Redding, California, to a retreat for 5 days in Cloudcroft, New Mexico. And the plan was I was going to camp along the way in several places to get there. It took 3 days, camped outside Goldfield, Nevada, outside Springerville, Arizona. Beautiful spots to camp, had a great time. And then my wife and I agreed that I would take a couple extra days on the way home. And she said, you should go to the Grand Canyon. I'm going to be honest with you. I initially did not want to go to the Grand Canyon because in my mind, the Grand Canyon is just a big crack in the ground that everybody goes in the national park. They see the crack. Ooh. And that's it. Like, what else do you do there? You've got to go to where everybody else goes and you're crowded with people. And if you camp there, you've got to stay in their campground. And that's not my style. I remembered that I had seen some other YouTubers' videos about their time at the Grand Canyon. They were on BLM land. They were even in a national forest. And I thought, So I began to do some research. And I found Kaibab National Forest, and I began to do a lot of map recon. It looked like that it was possible to camp right on the edge of the Grand Canyon, and I decided to go there. And I got to tell you, I am so glad I did. It was breathtaking and amazing, and I would go back there in a heartbeat. So welcome to this video on my adventure to the Grand Canyon. I hope you enjoy it. Now, I went to the North Rim, so I have no idea what the South Rim of the canyon looks like. But I gotta tell you, on my way, I was blown away by the topography, by the scenery. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't even need to go into the Grand Canyon. I'll just drive around out here. This is amazing. The entire way was just wow after wow after wow. Well, eventually the Red Rock Country gives way to Sage Country, and as you enter Kaibab National Forest, the Sage Country eventually gives way to juniper trees, and then the junipers give way to a high alpine forest that is just stunning. Now, never having been to the Grand Canyon or Kaibab National Forest, I thought it wise to stop in at the Jacob Lake Visitors Center. And this proved to be really helpful. The gentleman there gave me a lot of great information, pointed out areas on the map, and I'm really glad I stopped in. Then I gassed up at the Chevron that is right here in Jacob Lake, paid way too much for gas, but hey, I'm from California, so I'm kind of used to it. And then I was on my way. Hey guys, Chad here from the Sucker Mom Off-Road channel, and I am in Kaibab. I think that's how you say it, Kaibab National Forest, on the edge of the Grand Canyon. I am in search of an amazing campsite, hopefully with a view. It's a long shot, but we're going to try. So thanks for coming along on this adventure. Let's see what we find. Oh, wow. Well, guys, we're here. Got our campsite. at the Grand Canyon. I've never camped in the Grand Canyon before, so I don't know if this is a good site or not, you know, for people who've camped here before. But to me, I am like, whoa. Let me show you guys where we're camped for the next 2 nights. Look at this. We have a cute little fire pit. I won't be using it because I have my gas fire pit, but here's what we're gonna be looking at for the next 2 days. Now there's several really positive things. Obviously, the view is the biggest thing and why we're here. But as I was talking to the ranger at the visitor center, he said basically, if there's a campsite and there's a pre-established fire ring, it's okay to camp there even if it's not designated on the map as a dispersed campsite. We have a fire ring. This is a clearing. What I like too is that we have this tree here. Will give me some shade during the day. There's a nice breeze, but it is warm. I think it's going to cool down nicely tonight, but it is warm. So we're going to be chasing shade while we're here, just contemplating life with, I mean, an absolutely majestic, incredible, mind-blowing, breathtaking view. Are there better views? Probably, but I don't know any better because I've never been here before. And what I like is that it's literally right on the edge. It drops straight off. Right there. Let's get to setting up our very simple camp for the night. All right, our basic camp is set up. It's super simple. And now I'm ready to sit with my amazing view and have a snack. All right, I have just been being super lazy. I tried to take a nap, but I couldn't, but I just rested in the chair, walked around a little bit. But now it's time for dinner, and I am really excited about dinner. So I told you guys that I had been on a retreat in New Mexico, and we had a gal there, call her Mama Cindy. She was cooking for us for the week, and she sent some leftovers home with me, or home or on the trail with me. So I've got some brisket here. And I'm really excited to eat that. It's already cooked, so I just need to heat it up. And we've got some instant mashed potatoes with some brown gravy. Sorry for those of you who are truists. If this is sacrilege to you, oh well. Anyway, so we're just going to put this meal together. Also, I have, what is this? Avocado ranch chopped kit. So we'll do about half of this to go with dinner tonight. And I think this is going to be a really great, hearty dinner, especially as I get to cook with this view and eat with this view. I'm really excited. It's so great as the sun goes down to see the colors out here in the canyon. So I think it's going to be a great night. Let's get to it. All right, I only brought one burner. I didn't know I would be having this meal when I packed. So we're going to have to do some things in stages. The first thing we're going to do is make the gravy, and this calls for 1 cup of water. And I've got what I think is a cup. Maybe we'll do a little bit less. All right, I think that's done. So we're gonna let that sit. We're gonna get some water going for the mashed potatoes. I've measured in about 2 cups, and that's what they call for. And while that's heating up, I'll have myself a delicious chopped avocado ranch salad. You know, as I was driving up here, there was a little concern coming up on a Saturday midday. If I was gonna do a weekend camp trip, I would have been here Friday, and stayed through Sunday and then left. So I really anticipated having a lot of competition for campsites, and I also thought, well, but if I do get a campsite on the rim with a view, I'll probably have to deal with neighbors. I'm all alone. I'm right on the rim. I saw one car. It was actually the U.S. Department of, like, I don't know if it was like a fish and game or a game warden, but that's the only car that I passed out here. And you know, well, I was when I got to the National Forest, even as I was driving here, I was just praying, you know, God, I would love a great campsite, but I'm just going to take the adventure that you bring to me. So if I get a great campsite, so be it. If I don't, if I have to park just a little bit of ways from, you know, the rim, and maybe walk over to it with my chair and sit for a while and go back to my campsite, you know, whatever. I'll just take whatever comes my way. And I'm not saying that because I prayed, God gave me a great campsite. I don't view God as like the candy man. But it was more just like being really open-handed with being here at the Grand Canyon. And so I just feel very blessed and fortunate to be here getting ready to have dinner with, I mean, it's not every day you get this as your view for dinner, you know? So feeling very blessed. Wipes. What would we do without wipes? Now, one of the things that I started doing lately is I keep one of these jugs just for the water that I heat up, because sometimes there's dirt and different things that get in this, or, you know, I don't know what kind of stuff leaches from the plastic. At least the Ziploc. The food saver bags that I have are sous vide safe, and you can heat those up. But I don't know about these. Anyway, the point is that I wouldn't reuse this water to drink, or make food with, like put in my food. However, water is a commodity out here, and so I don't want to waste this. So I pour water in. That may have been too much. Then when I'm done and this cools down, and after I use a little bit of this to do dishes, I pour it back into this, and that way it'll last me the whole trip, and I don't have to use my drinking water. And then that's just a great way to conserve water. All right, those turned out pretty good. They turned out nice and fluffy. So I'm going to put these in a bag, and then put these in there as well. The brisket will heat up, and my other stuff will stay warm. In the meantime, I'll have a salad. Things are working out nicely. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing the couple times I put my mouth on the bag, I'm sucking all the air out. Otherwise, the bags float, and you can't get it totally airtight with your mouth like you can with a food saver, but it's good enough. Oh, wow. Oh, this is a great view to make you feel real small. Look at this. Oh man. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Mama Cindy is a Southern belle from Texas. She's got a pretty strong drawl. She made this brisket, and I'll tell you what, it is so good. Mama Cindy, if you're watching, you're the best. Thank you so much. I just had an amazing hot shower and a shave. Being on the road for 2 days. No shower last night. I don't know what it is, but driving for 8 hours, I don't know, I just went to bed feeling kind of sticky and ugh. So after driving here and setting up camp and doing all that, a shower felt amazing tonight. I'm gonna have some dessert, some strawberries, sit by the fire a little bit before turning into bed. All right, guys, we're all tucked into the GX. I think it's going to be a pretty cozy night. It's pretty chilly outside, and that'll be a nice change. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. I just can't get over this view. It's pretty amazing. As you guys know, maybe you don't, this is the first time to the channel, I can't stand paying for camping. I get it that campgrounds where you have to pay, they have bathrooms, they have trash service a lot of times, and they have people that come in and maintain those things. But in cases like national parks, there's no option to disperse camp. You can only camp in a designated campground that costs way too much. And I know that you get services, but you have to be around a bunch of people. and you have to be where they want you to be. And I get it. Those places like national parks are national treasures, and there's a lot of people that are just pigs. They're slobs. Right down here, I feel like maybe people who have camped here where I'm at in the past have used right over here as a bathroom and have left their toilet paper just on top of the ground. And that's disgusting. Bury it. Really? One little pile of toilet paper was covered with a few branches. Branches? It doesn't take anything to bury it with a shovel. And if you don't have a shovel, go get a little pile of rocks and at least bury it, you know? And so I get the idea of not letting people just camp wherever they want in the national park. Otherwise, those places become trash. But the idea that there are places like this in the national forest where I can come and camp on the edge of this and be able to just sit here for a couple days and take it all in and really appreciate the beauty and the splendor and the majesty of God's creation. It's just, wow, you know? So I'm still, you know, every time I look out there, I'm just blown away. All right, I wanted to show you guys this old corral that is right next to camp. Corrals aren't usually something that I show you guys when I'm out and about. I see old corrals all the time, but this one just caught my interest for a couple reasons. All right, let's see. It's pretty extensive old corral, dilapidated and falling apart now. I'm trying to judge the age of this. Got these nails here. Now, if this were like late 1800s or prior, they would be big square nails. These are round, but these are definitely early 1900s. This is an old structure that was built out here. And I think what caught my attention about it is where it's located. I mean, you can just see my rig through the trees right here. And right there, my rig is on the edge of the rim of the Grand Canyon. And I was just thinking about the fact that at some point there were ranchers ranching, herding cattle up here at this location. Can you imagine ranching up here, like riding horses up there? They may have had a cow camp up here somewhere, and they would, you know, come up and herd cattle right here on the rim of the Grand Canyon. I was just thinking what cows had the good life of being right on the edge of the Grand Canyon, and just enjoying this, and what ranchers came up and, you know, tended their cattle up at this spot. Who knows? Maybe they camped up on my rig on several occasions, looking over the Grand Canyon like I have been. It's just pretty cool. All right, I've got dinner heating up. We're gonna put together a salad here to enjoy while our main course, which again is brisket, potatoes, and gravy, heats back up. And then we'll enjoy this incredible view behind me. I love this time of night. The sun is casting incredible shadows. You can see contrast so much better in the morning and in the evening light than you can at midday. This time of night is just so pretty. So let's get our chopped salad and start enjoying that while our main course heats up. I've got these binoculars holding my chair down. This chair has been known to fly away. And with the edge of the canyon right here, I would be very grumpy. Bon appetit. So crazy to think that these canyons that run throughout here are like their own little ecosystems. And this particular area, it's called the amphitheater, and there's a bunch of other names for this. The Colorado River actually is very far away. This is this weird little cul-de-sac and the river actually comes close over here. But there are these canyons that run along here, and they're so deep. And as I looked on Gaia, there's no trails down here. The closest trail is like way this way, and then there's another one way that way. So all of this area here is basically untouched by visitors to the national park. And it just is astounding to me that down in these valleys and in these canyons, there's this otherworldly place existing, and we're not a part of it at all. Heck, even, who knows? Bigfoot may even traipse up and down these canyons. You just don't know. Ah, that was a good dinner. So in all, this trip will be 12 days. The time it took me to get to New Mexico, 5 days for the retreat, and the 5 days it will take me to get home. And that's a lot longer than I usually spend away from my family. Most of the trips on this channel are what I call micro trips, trips that are less than 24 hours in my local area. Many times we'll have my wife with me. Sometimes I'll be by myself. Sometimes I'll have one of my kids with me, or sometimes I'm doing multi-day trip with a group of friends, and I usually have my kids there. But this has been a trip unlike I've done before. Like I said, I'm not usually away from my family that long. So what am I doing? I am on what's called a sabbatical, a 3-month sabbatical. And if you're not familiar with the term, for lack of an equivalent term, an administrative leave is kind of what you might call a sabbatical in another field. But I am a pastor. That is what I do for the calling on my life, but it's also my vocation. And I'm a full-time vocational pastor of an amazing small church in our town, Redding, California. And our church leaders and our church congregation have graciously granted me 3 months to get away and rest. And I think more than that, too. Rest is a part of it, but like anything, especially any field that deals with people, like whether you're in law enforcement or you're a teacher or you're in the medical field or you're an emergency responder or whatever. Oftentimes we get into these fields because we want to help people. But if you do it long enough, and for me it's been 24 years of vocational pastoral ministry, if you do it long enough, sometimes it's not that your heart can go bad, but that maybe you become robotic at it, or you lose the joy that you once had, or maybe even forget why you're doing it. And there can be all kinds of reasons, but after a long time, sometimes your heart can get sort of out of kilter or out of whack, and sometimes a recalibration is necessary. And I don't know that all pastors who take sabbatical need a recalibration, and I don't even think I knew that I needed one when I started. I thought, oh, it's going to be rest. I'm going to connect with God and just really get filled up spiritually. It's going to be good. Spend a lot of time with Jesus. But as I went on, I realized that my heart was out of kilter, and it needed to be readjusted. And there's a book that I've read and come back to every once in a while. It's called Wild at Heart. It's by John Eldredge. He's a great author, but he talks about, in chapter 1, he starts off talking about being in the Sawatch Range of central Colorado, and he's out by himself, and he's hunting, and he's on foot, and he's way in the back country, and he spots, he's in the Rocky Mountains, and he spots the bull elk, and then he, just as you think he's gonna kind of talk about what it's like to hunt and all that, he says, "And that is why I come and why I linger here still, letting the old bull elk get away. My hunt, you see, actually has little to do with the elk. I knew that before I came. There's something else I'm after out here in the wild. I'm searching for an even more elusive prey, something that can only be found through the help of wilderness. I'm looking for my heart." And from the first time that I read those words, it really captured me. And maybe even being prophetic years ago when I read it, that I would need a wilderness experience myself. And so this trip has been really good. I've been on sabbatical since May. It's so tomorrow it'll be about 2 months. And it wasn't until this trip that things kind of came into clarity regarding my heart and ministry and whatnot. So this has been just an instrumental trip. Man, the minute I got that I hit the road, things started clicking and things started coming to me, and I started realizing like why I needed this sabbatical. And I'm so thankful that God's doing His work in me, and that I am on a search for my heart. Like, where's my heart gone, and what happened to it, and why do I feel really robotic? And it just feels like I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed to do, rather than I love it. And coming alongside people because I love them, and not just because I have to. And this has been really good for me to really kind of search for my heart, the elusive prey. And I can't think of a more incredible place to do it, man. The scene, the stuff that I saw driving through Nevada, just the otherworldly scene that Nevada is, and then hitting Arizona and seeing the topography change, and then hitting New Mexico, and then having it change even more, really deserty. But then all of a sudden, there's these mountains that look kind of barren at first, but you climb up into these mountains, and there's this like forest in the clouds, and that was what Cloudcroft was like. And then coming here in northern Arizona, and then I'll be pushing up into Moab tomorrow, and I can't wait to see even a change of there. And all these places it's driving through, all of these roads that I went, except for like Nevada, I was really on kind of backcountry roads and in the wild and in search of my heart. And by the grace of God, I think I'm finding it. And so that's what this trip has been about. That's why I've been away so long. And my church, the leaders of our church congregation have been so gracious. My wife has been so gracious to allow me to come on this trip, and even the retreat. There were some things that we talked about on this retreat that were so apropos to what I've been processing on the way here and then even on the way home. So it's just really cool how God lines things up and arranges things well in advance before you even know that you need them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to just continue to sit here and take all this in. I mean, you don't get views like this but a few times in your life. So you got to absorb it like a sponge as much as you can, and then try to take it home. Fortunately for me, I make YouTube videos. So I'll be able to, watch this trip as many times until I get sick of it. And I don't really want to encourage you, regardless of what field you're in, what you do, take time to get away, take time to slow down, take time to evaluate and take stock of where you're at, why you're doing what you're doing. And if your motives, your heart's still right, and use the opportunity that you have to get out into places like this, but take the time to get away and to reflect and absorb and find that elusive prey called your heart. Well, good morning, guys. Let's see what 6 a.m. in the Grand Canyon looks like. Pretty amazing. All right, we're going to get some coffee going this morning and start packing up. That's our plan. All right, guys, camp is all packed up and we are ready to go. It's off to Moab. I want to encourage you guys, if you like this adventure and you enjoyed it, maybe consider subscribing so you can catch the next episode in Moab. Thanks for coming along on this adventure. We'll see you out again on the trail. And until next time, adventure on. All right, as I'm leaving, this is a post-camp thought. I've seen one car the entire day. Now, I'm not back to the entrance of the forest, but I've seen one car the entire trip. I heard other cars, but I only seen one car, and that was on my way in. On my way out, I haven't seen a single car. Now, granted, it is a Monday, but here's a little tip for you. If you end up coming to Kaibab National Forest and you're seeking solitude, do not use Highway 67. That's the paved road that goes from Jacob Lake Visitor Center all the way down to the North Rim. Just like in a national park, that's going to be where 95% of your visitors go. The bulk of your people are coming in. They're in cars. They're in stock SUVs. They're pulling a camper, a trailer. They want to be in the pavement. They want to go to the campgrounds. They want to go right to the North Rim. But there are a gazillion really good roads in this national forest, and several of them are main arteries. They're graded, they're graveled. I'm driving almost 40 miles an hour on this gravel road. Do yourself a favor if you're looking to come here and get away from it all. Don't use Highway 67. Map yourself out a route down to some of the other places that have rim access, but that are not on the main thoroughfare, and you're going to enjoy a visitor-free, neighbor-free experience. At least that was my experience. And like I said, this is the end of June. I am the week before the 4th of July, and so maybe everybody was saving up their vacation time to come then, but I didn't see anybody the entire time I was here, and that was awesome.